superb, and I thought that was another great occasion. And of course Wrexham, who came so close to knocking out Chelsea and probably deserved a bit more from what they got out of that game.
Yeah, it's been brilliant so far. Let's just run you through the numbers then to look out for in this draw that's coming up in just a short while. Number 1 is Southampton, number 2 Port Vale, 3 Manchester City, 7 times winners of course. Leeds are number 4, Arsenal, who knocked out Mansfield like you mentioned there, Sam. They're number 5, the record 14-time winners of this competition. Liverpool are 6, and then Chelsea are 7, and then the winners of this tie, West Ham or Brentford, are number 8. That is the number to look out for involving this one. So it's an intriguing quarter-final tie to come, an opportunity for some of these sides perhaps to reach the quarter-finals for the first time in a while for many of these teams. I mentioned already Brentford haven't done that since the late 1980s. Leeds looking to make it through, or making it through to the quarterfinals for the first time since 2003. Lots of fascinating stories still to be spun, no doubt, in this competition. And the stadium here is filling up nicely as well. But the draw is about to take place, so let's hand you over then to those commencing it for the FA Cup quarter-finals. It is Joe Hart, Joe Cole, Ali McCoyston, Darren Fletcher.
Right, so Joe Cole is going to do the home teams, and Joe Hart is going to do the away teams. So is everybody ready? Are we ready?
We're ready to go.
Okay, let's start the draw for the quarter-finals. Joe Cole,
ready. Here we
the
go.
first team.
Number 1.
Okay, number 1 is Southampton. Had a great result away at Fulham yesterday. And they will play, Joe.
Here we go, Joe.
Number 5.
Southampton will play Arsenal.
Ooh.
They're getting a lot of good draws, Arsenal, aren't they?
Wow.
The fates are conspiring.
The Southampton fans won't thank you for saying that.
I know.
Right, who's next?
Ready? Right,
Joe.
here we go. Number 7.
Number 7 is Chelsea. So Chelsea at home. And Joe, they will play.
Who have they got, Joe?
They've got number 2.
Home to Port Vale.
The plum tie for Chelsea, innit?
It's a brilliant tie.
Brilliant tie for
It's
Chelsea.
a great tie
And
for
a great
Port.
tie for
Great
Port
tie
Vale.
for Port Vale.
Wonderful.
That's the most important bit. An away tie, brilliant.
Yeah,
League One
they're
Port
gonna-
Vale.
Yeah, ready?
We are.
Right, okay, here we go.
Go on, Cole. City.
Number 3, Manchester City. So Manchester City, Joe,
pressure, Joe.
former club will play.
Who's getting it then? Who's getting it? Number 6.
Oh, he's only done it. They play Liverpool. What a tie.
Here we go.
What a tie.
Manchester City versus Liverpool.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 left. And still, by the way, to come out
West
the
Ham.
winners of tonight.
Correct.
Number 8 at
Number
home.
8! The winners of West Ham United against Brentford at home, and they will play.
They're playing number 4.
As you would imagine, that is Leeds United. Winners for next time play Leeds United.
So thank you all. That concludes the quarter-final draw. Ties will be played on the weekend.
Well, there you go then. That is the quarter-final draw for the FA Cup. And I tell you what, the EFL sides of Southampton and Port Vale must be absolutely licking their lips at the ties that they have got. When you think about Port Vale in particular, the money they're going to make out of a visit to Stamford Bridge, Sam.
Yeah, I just think that it's great for them because they've had 2 big games at home this season. So they had the game yesterday against Sunderland. They had Arsenal go there earlier in the season in the League Cup, which was brilliant. And now they get to go away from home. And it's so vital for that club. They're probably going to get relegated. They're almost certainly going to get relegated. They're going to have a load of games in hand because they'll have to rearrange 2, I think, for this tie. But Carol Shanahan and Kevin Shanahan, the 2 owners of that football club, have put the community at its heart. You know, 2019, it was a toxic place to go. They've doubled the attendances. People absolutely love going there now. It's a brilliant atmosphere. I've been there twice already this season, and they deserve a trip like this. It's a good draw for them.
It's a great reward for Port Vale then to be heading to take on another Premier League team, but as you say, this time they're going away, and Southampton to take on Arsenal. That's in itself a great story, and I mean, you heard it when the draw was made, the suggestions of it's another easy one for Arsenal, but they were tested by Mansfield, as we saw, Dean.
Yeah, look, it's not going to be easy to go away from home, especially to a team that's certainly in form in the Championship and that has got recent Premier League experience. So there's players in there that would feel that they could be or should be at that level anyway. But it is a very good draw for Arsenal. There's no doubt about that. When you look at who else was in the competition. That's definitely a draw that they'll be pleased with.
Do you know what? It's a brilliant draw for so many different reasons. It's got a little bit of everything. There's something on every tie. You've got a big team going away to a Championship team, which is great. You've got a smaller team going to a big Premier League team. You've got a heavyweight contest in Manchester City and Liverpool. And then you've got that tie for one of those, it's going to be the dream is kept alive. You know, those three teams, Leeds, Brentford, West Ham, they've got an opportunity to win the FA Cup, and you want a team that, a bit like Crystal Palace last year, aren't one of the big boys to still have a chance. And of course, what it also keeps alive is the possibility of Manchester City and Arsenal meeting in the final of every single competition.
Do we want that though? Do we want that? I don't know. I'm not. Listen, obviously my team is still involved in this one.
No, of course we don't.
But
Chelsea-Brentford final's fine.
Well, you know, that would be fun in itself. I mean, that is the beauty of it in the sense that, you know, West Ham and Brentford now know they've got a home tie to look forward to, whoever wins this one, against Leeds, which will then get them, if they can get through that, to the semi-finals at Wembley.
Yeah, I mean, look, I heavily disagree with doing the draw before all the games are finished.
And why is that?
Well, just because it does affect your mentality. There's no doubt they will find out, these two teams who they've drawn. Yes, they'll be excited, won't they? Because it's a home draw if they get through. But if you'd have got Manchester City away, that does change your mindset. It does. Whether fans say, well, it shouldn't matter anyway because you're going to be playing your professional. Well, it does. We're only human. But even before that, this game for both of these two teams, and I know West Ham are fighting relegation, but still, that you can see that pathway, and you have to get lucky at times with the draw. We did in 2006 in that semi-final draw when there was Chelsea, Liverpool, us and Middlesbrough, and we got Middlesbrough. You should have seen the cheer when we heard the news in the dressing room, honestly, because you need a bit of luck with the draw sometimes, and both of these teams have already got that, so one of them's got to take advantage.
But it's vindicated Keith Andrews tonight, hasn't it? Because he's gone strong. He knows he's got a week before his next game, or 6 days before his next game, so he can really go for it tonight. And he's put out his strongest team. West Ham haven't done that. He has. If they win here tonight, he'll be thinking to himself, maybe, just maybe, he could have the best season in Brentford's history.
Crikey. Don't say that now. Ooh, getting ahead of yourself there, Sam, but Brentford fans would quite like that, me being one of them. The ties, of course, are to be played on the weekend of the 4th and 5th of April. So that wraps things up in terms of the quarter-final draw. We will focus very much, though, on this 5th round tie that is still to be played here this evening. You're tuning in to Kickoff on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. It's 18 and over. GambleAware.org.
Kickoff on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. 18 plus gamble.
Invest. Progress. Your capital's at risk. Other fees may apply. Tax treatment depends on individual circumstances and is subject to change.
BetMGM was born in Vegas. So just like the Cheltenham Festival, we know a thing or two about entertainment. Every ride, every race, every roar. This is Cheltenham Vegas style. Sign up to BetMGM now. Bet £10 and get £40 in free bets. That's right. Bet £10 and get £40 in free bets. Are you ready for the greatest show on turf? BetMGM. It's showtime. Minimum stake £10. New customers only. Wagering requirements and conditions apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
Evening. How's your night shift going? Just a quick check-in from Acorn Insurance, the taxi specialists. We've been by your side for over 40 years, helping new drivers earn a no-claims bonus from day one and accepting up to 9 years no claims from veteran cabbies. That's why we're the largest taxi insurance specialist in the UK. Find out more at acorninsure.co.uk/taxi. Bye for now. Acorn Insurance and Financial Services Limited is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority.
Spinning records? At 32 Red, we prefer spinning reels. Play exclusive ITV games like Tipping Point and I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. With top slots like Immortal Romance 2. Join and get 100 free spins on Sweet Bonanza. Play incredible at 32 Red. 18 plus gamblerware.org. New accounts only. Minimum £10 deposit. 10 times wagering. Max stakes apply. Visit 32red.com for full terms.
Who are you going for at the Cheltenham Festival?
The favourite.
The favourite.
The favourite without a doubt. This Cheltenham Festival, everyone's going for the free favourite pull-out in the sun. It's jam-packed with top tips and form guides for all the runners and riders. And a free £5 in-shop bet with Coral each day of the festival. Get your copy of The Favourite every day only in the sun. T's and C's apply. 18 plus only. Gamblerware.org.
This Cheltenham, get £40 in free bets when you stake £10 online with Betfred. Back a horse for their form, their trainer, their rider. Or because you got a tip from your mate whose barber knows the jockey. However you pick him at Cheltenham, get £40 in free bets when you stake £10. Want to bet? Betfred. New online customers only, selected odds. For £10 free bets, T's and C's exclusions apply. Offer ends 13th of March 2026. 18 plus gamblerware.org.
FA Cup Live on Talk Sport with McDonald's. Got Big McDonald's hunger? The Big Arch is here to stay. Available from 11 a.m. subject to availability. Price and participation may vary.
Hey boyo, it's a flashy Friday night of tidy championship football on Talk Sport 2. Wrexham face Swansea City, how about it? Floodlights on from 7. With Yagida, full life comes from 8.
Absolutely sensational.
Fixing you up with a first-rate Friday night of championship football on Talk Sport 2. Isn't it?
This is Kickoff on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. It's 18 and over gamblerware.org. This evening we are at the London Stadium for this final FA Cup 5th round tie. It's West Ham against Brentford, with the winners to take on Leeds at home in the FA Cup quarter-finals. The draw having just been made. It's time for us to bring you an odds update with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talk Sport with Ladbrokes. Get a free bet every week of the season and a big boost every day. That's Ladisfaction. Minimum £5 bet. Conditions apply. 18 plus gamblerware.org.
Well, we are less than 10 minutes away from kick-off here. Let's say a very good evening to Alex and Patty. How are you, Alex?
Yeah, very good, thank you. We're okay?
Yeah, very good, thank you. And looking forward to this tie, seeing how it's all going to pan out. So how do you see West Ham against Brentford?
Yeah, Brentford, you'll be glad to know, rightly favourites, I think. 6-5 they are, so odds against just over even money. West Ham 2-1, and the draw is 12-5. So, I mean, look at these two in the league. 16 points, I think, between them. Brentford pushing for Europe, West Ham fighting for survival. So the momentum is with the visitors here, and if West Ham did lose tonight and stayed up, I don't think too many fans would look back and be disappointed to have lost in the 5th round of the Cup this season. Their attention is very much elsewhere. They've only won West Ham 2 of the last 10 against Brentford. They lost this exact fixture 2-0 back in November. That's 9-1 to Cop tonight, and it's a kind of scoreline I could see happening again, to be honest. I think Brentford are so solid, and like I say, I don't think many West Hams will be fussed about an exit tonight. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong there, but Brentford to win and to score 2 or more goals, and Igor Thiago to get one of those goals, that's a 3-1 bet builder.
We've had the FA Cup quarter-final draw, so has that changed the outright betting for the competition?
Yeah, this is hot off the press. Literally 2 minutes ago, our trader sent them to me, so fair play to them. Look, not all of the big dogs have avoided each other, and that's probably the biggest story. I mean, top line couldn't have been much worse in terms of Port Vale's chances of winning the whole thing, but a great result for Chelsea, really, for them, and they have come in a little as well. They were 9-2 this morning. Chelsea are now 3-1 second favourites. So, yeah, Arsenal have come in just a touch. They play Southampton, of course, so they're 2-1 favourites to win the FA Cup, Arsenal. And the reason that Chelsea have shortened to 3-1 is, of course, because Manchester City and Liverpool play each other. So one of those is going to go. One of them is going to fall. Man City are 7-2 now. Liverpool 9-2. Brentford could be a decent price, at 14-1. If they get through tonight, of course, then I think they play Leeds at home, which Leeds aren't out of the woods themselves in a relegation scrap. And Port Vale, they were 250-1 this morning. You could probably add another note now, I think, sadly for them.
And just quickly, Alex, it is for many horse racing fans like Christmas Eve tonight. Cheltenham getting underway tomorrow. So anything that we should be looking out for on day one?
Yeah, strap in for that first Cheltenham Roar tomorrow, 1:20. Supreme Novices Hurdle gets underway. A couple of short price favourites in there tomorrow. Kopek de Board in the Arkle is 6-4 ahead of Lalamba, and Lossiemouth is the one of interest tomorrow. Declared for the Champion Hurdle, takes on the New Line. Lossiemouth 2-1, New Line around 11-4. Those are probably the two of interest. And we spoke to our ambassador, Ben Jones, jockey this week. He rides for Harry Redknapp a lot, of course. He said this week, such is the competitiveness at Cheltenham, if you're on a 20-1 shot as a jockey, you've got a very good chance of riding a festival winner. So that's one for punters to remember. The one to watch for me, though, tomorrow's plate at 4:40. Madara, the favourite, to finish in the top 4 for Dan Skelton. And no questions asked. Ridden by Ben Jones, one of Ben's favourite horses to ride, to finish in the top 7. So Madara top 4. No questions asked, top 7. That bet builder, that racing bet builder, has been boosted to 4-1 for Ladbrokes customers.
Brilliant. Alex, as always, thank you very much. That was the latest with Ladbrokes. It's 18 and over. Gambleaware.org.
Odds update on Talk Sport with Ladbrokes. Get a free bet every week of the season and a big boost every day. That's Ladisfaction. Minimum £5 bet. Conditions apply. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
You're listening to the FA Cup live on TalkSport with McDonald's. Order delivery on the McDonald's app from 11 a.m. It's 18 and over. Fees apply to delivery orders. That's subject to availability, and price, of course, may vary. Let's look ahead then to Kickoff, which is imminent really here at the London Stadium. And so we've talked already about the team news situation. West Ham making 7, Brentford 3, but Brentford's lineup pretty strong, a recognisable lineup to Premier League fans. But what I wanted to ask you, Dean, is, as I mentioned a few months ago, it felt as though it was all doom and gloom for West Ham, but things have really turned. What has changed, do you think, for them to be in a position to even get out of the relegation zone?
Well, I think the business they did in January was absolutely crucial. I said at the time, if they didn't do any business, that would be it, because something needed refreshing. They needed a threat at the top end of the pitch, and also at centre-back they needed somebody that was going to help stop the ball going in the back of the net, because it was just too easy for teams to score. And then your big players need to stand up at the same time as well. So Somerville in particular has been outstanding in this current run that they're on. So all those things combined, obviously still got to give a bit of credit to the manager, because he was under severe pressure when they lost here to Nottingham Forest. But he still backed himself. He carried on with clearly the way he saw the team playing. And all of a sudden, they've done exactly what they had to do, which is get to the point where it puts maximum pressure on the others. They've done that. It doesn't mean the job's over, but at least they've done that. At least they've given themselves a real good shot now of trying to pull away and drag others in.
I mean, just from the team news and the lineups that have been announced, you have that obviously feeling that Nuno is very much thinking about the Premier League as opposed to this one. But that's not to say this is a given that Brentford are going to walk this one. Although they did earlier on in the season when they won here 2-0. It was a very comfortable victory. Is it not possible to do both, to have a cup run and also fight for survival?
It should be, yeah, it should be. But I think it depends on what you're carrying, the importance of certain players. If you're worried about losing them for the Premier League games, you can't help but think that Nuno has to think about that. And I don't think you could be too critical if he is. So I think he's tried to do the right thing with a slight mix in the team selection this evening. But it's incredible what confidence does to a side, to a player, because even though they've made changes, there's just a different feel about West Ham. There's a different feel about the players, a different feel around the stadium. And so I don't think it really mattered who he picked tonight. The feeling's different.
And they've done again what they did a couple of weeks ago when they were desperate to try and just improve the atmosphere here, which is sell the tickets at a very reasonable price. £10 for adults, £1 for children tonight. So it is going to be pretty full in here, and I think in any other circumstances that might not have been the case. What they have got is more fight. They haven't had that for much of the season, but they've shown that in recent matches. I think Castellanos, although I don't think he'll score 20 goals in a season, has certainly got that about him. You know, he puts himself about a bit, he holds the ball up well, he brings others into play. He certainly makes defenders realise they're in a game. Be interesting to see how Pablo gets on tonight in his return. but they've given themselves a chance of staying up. And like you, when we came here for that Nottingham Forest game, no one thought they had a chance.
No. It was the mood itself. It felt like the fans had given up. They were all very much apathetic to it at that point. It does feel a little bit different now.
Do you think that the fact that they got rid of Lucas Paquetá also had a sort of galvanising effect on the rest of them? Basically, you don't want to fight with us. We'll fight. We'll do it on our own. Bit of siege mentality thing.
I think the fact that we've forgotten about him says everything about maybe the lack of importance that he had towards the end. In fact, I think he was more of a hindrance than a help in terms of he kept losing possession in odd areas of the pitch. Didn't look like he maybe had the fight out of possession that he had when he first came to the club. I honestly think Disasi has had a difficult time at Chelsea. He has made the world of difference to that back line. That aggression, the pace, the understanding now with whether it's Mavropanos or Todibo. He has been the key, though, to just make them look more solid at the back and not as vulnerable to runs in behind, which they were with the lack of pace before he came.
Well, you can hear the fans, the West Ham fans, that is, singing the iconic I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles here at the London Stadium, which still has a number of seats spare, it has to be said, not yet filled, but there is an air of excitement perhaps with this game. You're tuning into FA Cup Live on TalkSport with McDonald's. Order delivery on the McDonald's app, that's from 11 a.m, 18 and over. Fees apply to delivery orders, subject to availability. Price may vary. We've quite the week of live football on the TalkSport network this midweek, with the start of the last 16 ties in the Champions League, Europa League and Conference League, plus a whole host of Premier League and EFL games coming your way this weekend. Right now, though, it is time for the fifth round to be completed of the FA Cup. The teams are out now, and it's time for us to see who will reach the quarter-finals. Who will take on Leeds then? It is West Ham against Brentford, and your commentary team for this one is the former West Ham striker Dean Ashton, who is alongside Sam Atface.
Well, good evening everyone, and welcome to the London Stadium. As Natalie says, there's a few empty seats in the top areas of the Billy Bonds stand and the Sir Trevor Brooking stand, and in the Bobby Moore stand away to our left-hand side. But the front section's starting to fill up, and after a weekend of thrills and spills in the FA Cup, the fifth round reaches its climax here. Saturday delivered goals and drama, but largely followed the script. Sunday, well, that's when the magic happened. Southampton stunned Premier League Fulham. Port Vale knocked out Championship Sunderland, and the reward for both of them is to face two London giants in the quarter-finals of this competition. Now it's West Ham's turn to host Brentford in an all-Premier League derby for the right to face Leeds United at home in the next round of the competition. Nuno Espirito Santo's side in a relegation battle, 18th in the table, 2 points behind Nottingham Forest, 11 games to save their season, but they've found something recently. 6 wins from their last 10 games, a 4-game unbeaten run at home, and last week's 1-0 win at Fulham, absolutely crucial. For the Hammers, a cup run might be seen as a distraction, but for Brentford, now one of the biggest clubs in the country without a major trophy, it's an opportunity. West Ham haven't reached the quarter-finals in a decade. Brentford haven't been this far since 1989. Someone's wait ends tonight. Referee is Andy Madley. VAR is Konstantin Hatzidakis, and actually he's an assistant referee. The VAR assistant is Stuart Atwell tonight. He's usually a referee. That's interesting because often it's thought that the assistant refs have better eyes than the main referees because they're used to looking at tight offside calls. So they tell me anyway. West Ham United in claret shirts with white shorts and white socks, only out of the relegation zone on goal difference, take on a Brentford side in light blue, and they smash the ball immediately high up towards the centre-backs and test the resolve of Kostas Mavropanos. He deals with it well. It's back inside the Brentford half, and they have possession with Collins immediately releasing the ball down the left to Kevin Schade, and he gets the first shot on goal, which is narrowly over the top, but it signals the intent of the visitors.
And just a warning, Schade, brilliant pace, just dips inside. Walker-Peters there, Mavropanos comes across. I think he's probably trying to hit that across goal, half volley from Sharda. Gets it wrong, goes up and over Ariola's crossbar. Nice bright start from Brentford, who won't be overall by a trip to the London Stadium.
Not after the last time they were here.
No, exactly.
They arrive in East London as the form team, 7th in the Premier League. European qualification very much within their reach. But here's Jared Bowen bursting down the right-hand side, trundling to the edge of the area. Gets a shot away, which is blocked by Keane Lewis Potter, the left back, and it goes out for a corner kick, the first of the game. Alphonse Areola is the West Ham goalkeeper. Walker-Peters, Disasi, Mavropanos and Scarles the back four. Conte, Souček and Fernandes in midfield, with Bowen on the right, Adama Traore on the left and Pablo through the middle. For Brentford, it's Kelleher in goal, Kayode, Aya, Collins and Lewis Potter, and then Henderson, Yarmouk and Damsgaard behind Ouattara, Thiago and Sharda. Here is the first corner of the game to be taken by the academy graduate Ollie Scarles, left-footed in towards the middle of the 6-yard box. It's flicked away by Aya, out to the far side and retrieved over on that far side by Mamadou Conte. He gets it back to Fernandes, and now Scarles will shoot left-footed towards goal, but it's miles wide, and it goes out for a goal kick away to our right-hand side.
Yeah, it's disappointing though. Ollie Scarles there, plenty of time, no real pressure on the ball, played across by Fernandes, gets it out onto his favoured left foot and just really cuts across it horribly, up and wide of goal, but got to work much harder there to test Kelleher.
Well, Keith Andrews' side have won 7 of their last 9 away games. They absolutely dismantled West Ham here when they came in October by 2-0. West Ham finding on 2 fronts, survival in the league and progress in the cup. Nuno Espirito Santo has revived their season with 6 wins in the last 10. They've battled past Queen's Park Rangers and Burton to get here, both times requiring extra time. They certainly will not want that tonight. Here is Pablo, just shuffling the ball back towards his midfield, but he loses out. It goes back towards Henderson, who's robbed by Pablo, who scurries away with the ball over the halfway line, goes through the centre circle and out the other side towards Bowen, wants the return ball, but it's too heavy, the return from the edge of the area from Bowen. Probably should have done a little bit better with that, and it is gobbled up by Queben Kelleher in front of the goal away to our right-hand side, and it remains 0-0.
I think West Ham will, of course, be a threat on the counter-attack. Brentford ought to be careful when the possession is turned over. We've got Bowen, Pablo and especially Adama Traore with pace to burn on the break.
He's been told he's not allowed to do weights anymore.
I did see that.
Good job they haven't told you that.
Even though he says he never goes in the gym.
Yeah. I noticed that you've still retained your rather muscular physique. You've been working hard in the gym, haven't you? I saw a picture in the programme of us from a couple of years ago, and there's a marked difference, I thought.
Yeah, 2 stones difference is what it was.
Yeah, I've put it on.
You're looking after it for me, thanks.
Here is Mavropanos. Square ball to Disasi, who came in from Chelsea in that January transfer window. Spent the first half of the season in the stiffs, really. Was at Aston Villa in the second half of last season. They've given the ball away though, and it's picked up now by Sharda, slipped through towards him by Yarmouk, but cut out by Disasi again, and now they turn it over with Conte and move the ball to the right-hand side. Souček gets over the halfway line and nudges it into the path of Bowen, who's just in from the touchline, 3 or 4 yards, and then he touches it down the corner towards Carl Walker-Peters, who's joined the attack. It's back to Souček, into Matthias Fernandes, who's off on the tempo setter. He flies the ball out to the wide left-hand side. Traore miscontrols it. Don't give Kayode any invitation because he'll nab it. He's done that, and now he has got the ball around Scarles, absolutely skinned him. But with probably about an 8-yard head start, Kayode has been caught by Traore in rapid time.
Yeah. Just a little acceleration, wasn't it? Away from the traffic lights there for Adama.
They've kept hold of the ball though, and Kayode on the other side has now fed it into Damsgaard, who's inside the penalty area. He slips it across to Jordan Henderson, and he should have hit the target. He just lifted his head at the wrong moment, and the ball went over the top of the crossbar from the edge of the area, but that was a perfectly weighted pass in from Damsgaard. He had all the time in the world to think about it. Maybe that was the problem, but he side-footed the ball towards goal. He just got too much air underneath it, and it was a good 2 yards over the top.
Yeah, because he had a good sight of it, didn't he, from the middle of the goal, in the middle of the penalty area. And such a clever player, Damsgaard. Lovely weighted pass, like you say. Jordan Henson could just come onto it, hit it first time. He's gone for the firm side foot, a little bit like Iwobi the other day for Fulham, looking to get the power from the side foot and the direction. But you're right, just lifted it slightly. Again, he'll be disappointed, head in hands.
West Ham 0, Brentford 0. We played nearly 6 minutes. You're listening to Talk Sport under the lights at the London Stadium, the big cavernous London Stadium. There's almost a football pitch's width between where we are and where the start of the pitch is, over about 60 yards away down in front of us, and the angle from some of the top tier seats here, very, very shallow. It makes for a unique viewing experience, I think, is probably the best way of saying it. Here is Bowen trying to keep it in on the near side, can't do so, goes out for a throw-in. It's 10 yards down the touchline inside the Brentford half of the field. I think Andy Madley wants him to go a little bit further back than that, but no encouragement for a long throw. They're usually a little bit further up the field when they're catapulted in by Coyote. Back with Ayer just in front of the centre circle. 0-0 the score on Talk Sport. Ball collected on the left-hand side by Lewis Potter, who lifts the ball over the top down into the inside left channel. Thiago scurries forward and tries to reach it. He sprinted to try and get on the end of that, the Brazilian, but hadn't quite got the pace to do so. It ran off the turf and out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side.
And that's what they've got. Down the sides and down the middle is that pace and running ability in terms of the intelligent running from the forward players. Sharda, Thiago and Ouattara will all look to get in behind for Brentford.
Well, we need to improve what we've done in this competition, says Nuno Espirito Santo. His side have made hard work of rejoining us tonight on Sirius XM FC. Welcome to East London. We're at the London Stadium, which is about 70% full tonight. Under the lights here, it's a mild evening, although Dean was trying to tell us a little bit earlier that it was very cold. And the ball is with Disasi just inside his own half.
I've got no comeback, it's warm.
Here is Areola kicking it long, and then it goes all the way over Pablo's head and through to Coyote, who shuffles it back to the edge of the area, and Nathan Collins has it now. Missed a few games in the Premier League. They're still sort of coming up with the right combination there. Keith Andrews, he likes Ayer, then he'll take him out of the team and put Vandenberg in. Took Collins out for a little while as well, a couple of games. Put somebody else in. They've mixed that up a little bit in recent weeks. Ball cleared away by Kelleher. Down the left it goes to Sharda. Good leap by him to flick the ball on for Thiago, who goes darting down the left touchline. Disasi comes across, nudges him out of play, and Disasi does enough to win the throw-in. No free kick despite the protest of the Brazilian striker Thiago.
No, I feel a little bit sorry for him there, because I think he just got his body across and there was a shove in the back by Disasi just as he was looking to control. It happens, but the referee's got to be smart enough to see that. Instead he just let that go.
They've been a different team, West Ham United, since they were stunned into action by Wolverhampton Wanderers. 14 points from 8 Premier League games since that humiliating 3-0 defeat at the bottom club. That was back in January. And that was the turning point, really. Nuno called it embarrassing, said he'd never felt so bad on a football pitch, and the response has been absolutely remarkable. But they've changed the team significantly tonight. Can they get past this very impressive Brentford team? 10 minutes gone, it's 0-0. Brentford just 3 changes. West Ham have made 9, and it's Brentford in possession on the halfway line with the light blue shirts on. It's Collins into Sharda, who gets tackled by Bowen from behind, but then gets back on his feet to recover and play the ball towards Coyote, who connects with it brilliantly, and it's a good save down to his right by Alphonse Areola. He hit the target there, Coyote, but it was stopped by the big French goalkeeper. Sharda did brilliantly to keep his footing after being tackled from behind by Bowen. The ball came kindly to Coyote. He shoved it straight at the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he has to be more cute with the finish, doesn't he? Has to find a corner or just lift it as Areola goes to ground. He doesn't, side foots it straight at him, but Areola's there standing big to make sure that he can pat it away. But still, it's a great chance, isn't it? It's brilliant from Sharda, like you said, just kept going, bundled past Bowen and then played the ball through. Big chance.
I mean, he's not scored for Brentford, Michael Coyote, but he regularly gets up to support the attack. That was a great chance to get off the mark, wasn't it?
And again, look, he might not be a prolific scorer, but at this level he should be able to pass it exactly where he wants to, and surely that couldn't have been where he was aiming to pass it to, straight at the chest of Areola.
Does the defender deserve any credit for putting him under pressure?
No, because it was a free opportunity. He saw it all the way. You could see the goalkeeper and goal in front of him, so you've got to find a corner there, just pass it into one of the corners.
Remains 0-0. This is TalkSport, and Disasi running forward with the ball is being tracked by Thiago. They're down the left side of the centre circle, get to the halfway line, check back, Souček has it now. Infield it goes, picked up by Matías Fernández, who runs with the ball just sort of almost travelling behind him slightly, gets it out of his feet and sends it to the wide left. Skulls gets it back to Fernández, and then he forces it infield to Conte. Back towards the near side, the right, as West Ham look at it, as they look to try and build an attack here. Carl Walker-Peters grabs hold of it, nudges it into the path of Souček, who's being tracked from midfield by Yarmouk. Schade comes across again and puts the ball out of play and away for a throw, which is quickly taken by Carl Walker-Peters. And Bowen trying to take advantage of the fact that Brentford weren't...
waiting for the team to give them something, and Brentford have settled really nicely. Yep. Got plenty of the possession, and then that doesn't lend itself to gathering some atmosphere at the start of a game.
Well, 13 minutes have ticked away. The best chances have come to Brentford so far, as they did when we were here for the game earlier in the season between these two. Coyote's got away from Skulls, then he's got away from another challenge in Conte. He's found Damsgaard, whose return ball to the right-hand side was betwixt and between Dongo Ouattara and Henderson, and the ball eventually cleared away by the West Ham United defence. Here is Collins on the ball, to the left again, and he finds now Keane Lewis Potter. Ouattara at the back post, Thiago is in there as well. Thiago moves towards the far post, the ball goes towards him, away by Disasi, won by Collins ahead of Pablo, but Pablo does well to show his strength and nudge it back, and the Irishman gets a little frustrated, shoves him, and the ball ricochets into the path of Carl Walker-Peters, who plays it against the legs of the Ukrainian Yarmouk, and it's out of play and away for a throw-in inside the West Ham half of the field. 14 minutes gone. And no Somerville tonight. He's been in sensational form, 7 goals in 2026. Only Manchester City's Semenyo and João Pedro of Chelsea have scored more since the turn of the year. He's been involved in all 3 of West Ham's FA Cup goals this season. And there was always going to be the temptation to rest him tonight, but by not selecting him this evening, is there a chance that they might just check a little bit of momentum?
Possibly. Of course you want to keep that. I don't think for him it's a big issue, because he's just so full of confidence, and he's obviously came on against Burton and was the difference, so he'll feel like that could happen again tonight, and he's there in reserve if needs be. Hasn't left him out completely. Look, it is just such a difficult position for the manager to be in. Would I have picked the strongest team? Yes, because I think it is important to mentally keep the team in a great place.
How much rest do you really need? I mean, they play Wednesday night, they play Monday night, and then they play at the weekend again.
I know, but you know, they have bloods done every morning, and they've got the zones that they're only allowed to be in and not be in.
Their blood's done every morning.
Yeah, on some clubs they just pinprick in the finger, take the bloods, see where they're at, get a wellness check as well.
Ball with Ouattara, getting round the corner. Certainly has made Skulls feel sick there, with a decent ball into the box after twirling him. And it goes over the head of Thiago and out the other side for King Lewis Potter. Back in it comes from Yarmouk, who looks up, nudges it back to Collins. He then forces the issue and pushes it wide towards King Lewis Potter. His cross is far too big. It goes out of play and away for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's poor. It's poor from Bowen before, and it's now poor from Lewis Potter. When you're out wide in those positions and you don't have pressure on you, no real excuse at this level not to put in a decent ball. He's gone for power to really whip that in and just overhit it.
Nuno Espirito Santo, conversation with the members of his coaching staff as he tries to find a way to get West Ham on the front foot in this game. They've been largely rather submissive, actually. They haven't really taken the game at all to Brentford, who have really just sort of seem to be waiting to get their opener. Here is Damsgaard. Lack of quality in the final third has cost them so far. 0-0 the score, 17 gone. TalkSport under the lights at West Ham's London Stadium. Here is Henderson, back out wide to Coyote. He's got Dongo Ouattara further down the touchline, but he goes back to Henderson instead. Henderson into Ouattara, little back heel into the path of Damsgaard, and then he looks for the return but runs out of room, and it's out of play over on the far side. Well, tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock, when you wake up, Big Al will be at Cheltenham. Dean Saunders will be there, and AP McCoy will be part of the show. Mark Lawrenson's coming on, Sebastian Bassong, Lee Clark, Gordon Smith, Patrick Mullins, Rupert Bell, all part of the breakfast show tomorrow morning from 6 a.m. Looking forward to that. And it's live from the Cheltenham Festival. Good turn and run by Adama Traore. Picks the ball up, runs from halfway, shoots from the edge of the area, and it's down low and hard but misses the target. It went wide of the right-hand upright and fizzed beyond Kelleher's goal and out for a goal kick. It was a strong and powerful run, as you would imagine. He spun away from Coyote on the halfway line. Diagonally, he ran to the edge of the box, and then with his right foot, he sort of dragged it wide of the post. He never really had conviction in the finish.
Well, he's 30 now, and we say the same thing every season with Adama Traore. Absolutely magnificent turn. Wonderful amount of pace on the run. Gets towards the penalty area and just really lacks that composure and quality with the strike.
He's on the ball again now on the left-hand side, inside the penalty area after giving it by Conte, who gets it back, edge of the D. He goes to shoot, then slips, plays it towards Souček. Poor ball infield, and it's nabbed by Henderson, and the frustration is there for all to see. First proper bout of possession inside the Brentford final third for West Ham, who come forward with Pablo, edge of the box, left-footed shot, takes a deflection, bounces out, and it's away for a corner for West Ham United.
Yeah, and they got what they wanted in the end, the West Ham supporters, which was a strike on goal from Pablo. Took it upon himself to get the strike away. He's twisted onto his left side and struck towards goal. Higher it was with the deflection behind for a corner. But someone's got to take responsibility earlier, whether it's Conte or Souček, when the opportunity opens up to strike, instead passing to a teammate.
Yeah, it was an uncharacteristic poor ball. Very easy ball to play for Souček, and he just got it all wrong. Second corner of the night for Ollie Scarles to deliver this one to the near post, away by Thiago, who's positioned there well for Brentford. Back out towards the angle of the penalty area. Fernandez with the cross. It's down by Souček, poked in by Bowen. It's 1-0 West Ham United. Brilliant delivery by Fernandez from the angle of the penalty area on the right-hand side with his left foot. He found Thomas Souček, who nodded it down, and you guessed it, Jared Bowen was there, and West Ham United lead by a goal to nil.
Well, he is somebody that knows what it's like to score a winner in a cup final. And I bet he's got that hunger again in the FA Cup, because he's so alert. He doesn't switch off at all. He makes sure that he waits for the cross to come in from Fernandez towards the back post. He just twists, and he's just anticipating where it might fall. Nobody follows him. He's nodded down at the back post, and there he is, just to fire past Kelleher. Lovely reactions from Bowen, striker's instinct. Everyone's grabbing hold of everybody. Souček onto Aya, and then Bowen just pokes home.
Nuno Espirito Santo pumps his fist into the sky. Jared Bowen has goal number 9 of the season. West Ham's top scorer. His last goal against Chelsea in that 3-2 defeat. But he is on the score sheet tonight. And West Ham are on the scoreboard tonight. Remember, they made a significant number of changes from their last league game. Brentford came here with their strongest team, but it's West Ham who lead by a goal to nil.
Big boost, isn't it? Big boost for them, like you said, after what was a tentative start from the home team. But once again, set plays can be so crucial. Who's alert, who's switched off. Great ball in from Fernandez. And then it's just a game of anticipation as a forward. He doesn't know it's going to end up at his feet, Bowen, but he just gambles that it might fall his way. And there he was free just to smash it home. It was a really easy finish.
Well, it was A big moment for this West Ham crowd, who are absolutely delighted with the fact that he gave them the lead after 20 minutes. And I suppose it's just a little reminder to Brentford that you can have as many enterprising breaks as you want, but you've got to put the ball in the back of the net, as West Ham have. And Walker-Peters threatening to cause more problems with a right-footed cross, which is fended away by Collins. Back to Matthias Fernandes. Bowen has stayed onside. Into the box he goes. Filling in inside the penalty area was Henderson. He just dropped into that crucial area to make sure that West Ham couldn't get anybody on the ball. But Fernandes has got it back again into Bowen, then on to Pablo, and the return ball, again, just a little bit too heavy, and it goes out of play and away for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. But it's a bright period of the game for West Ham United, buoyed by that goal from Jared Bowen. They lead by a goal to nil. It was a good leap by Souček, who did sort of play it against Ajer, who inadvertently set up Jared Bowen, I suppose.
Well, Ajer was actually up highest, but they were battling Souček and Ajer. Souček just gets the initial glance. It hits Ajer on the cheek and then just softly falls down for Bowen to smash home.
Well, Brentford need to find some inspiration somewhere and try and come back from this deficit. West Ham lead by a goal to nil, and at the moment it may be them who are hosting Leeds United on Easter weekend in the FA Cup quarter-finals. Here is Christopher Ajer on halfway. The former Celtic defender plays it wide to Coyote. Coyote back to Ajer. West Ham will be absolutely delighted if they can get through tonight, because again it will be another little feather in the cap, a bit more momentum, the whole squad involved as well, which is really crucial at this stage of the season. I think if you're Brentford and you don't get through tonight, you will definitely see it as a missed opportunity, as I think Fulham did yesterday. I was at Fulham yesterday and I couldn't believe that they wasted that opportunity. Okay, the team that they put out probably should have had enough to get past Southampton, but didn't. 9 changes, and then they waited so long to make so many changes towards the end of the game. They left Josh King on the bench for so long in that match, and he was their best player in midweek against West Ham.
Yeah, and it does dent you slightly, I think, as a manager with the supporters when you get a result like that, when you're safe in the Premier League and you're a team like Fulham where that opportunity feels like it opens up for a good cup run, and then you lose to a side you shouldn't do.
But that is the FA Cup, I suppose. You can lose to anybody, as Port Vale will be hoping when they go to Stamford Bridge on Easter weekend, and Southampton when they welcome Arsenal, Manchester City against Liverpool as well, and then the winner of this tie will take on Leeds United. All 4 of those ties will be live on TalkSport. We've got these 2 teams in the next 2 games. Next Monday night we'll be at the GTEC Community Stadium in Brentford for their game against Wolverhampton Wanderers, and West Ham's game here against Manchester City on Saturday night is also live on TalkSport, 8 o'clock, that one. Throw in from the near side then. Brentford have progressed down the touchline, and that means that Coyote gets his first chance at a catapult. He sends it long towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's flicked on brilliantly by Ajer, comes back out to about 5-6 yards from the back of the D, and Yarmouth went to strike it. I mean, he almost hit Westfield.
It was a really poor effort, wasn't it, from Yarmouth? I think, look, difficult skill on the half volley, of course, coming out the sky, but that was really lashed at, wasn't it? Hopeful to hit the top corner, and like you say, top row Zara.
Here is Traore getting the ball back into Conte. Lovely flighted ball out towards this near side. He's a lively little player, isn't he, the 20-year-old from France, that they picked up from Paris FC. Into Fernandes, back to Souček. He's long and rangy, he's got good speed on the ball, he's got good range of passing as well. Wearing number 55, he's very tall and he's got a good physique. I think he's going to end up being quite a useful player for West Ham United in the future. Certainly got all the hallmarks and a good deal of potential. Here is Pablo with a header out towards the left-hand side, collected by Traore, moves infield, shoves it into Bowen, turns it round the corner beautifully, onto Pablo inside the box, goes to chop back in on his left foot. He then collides with Coyote. He wants a penalty, but the free kick is going the other way.
Yeah, he read it brilliantly, Coyote, there, because he sensed that Pablo didn't have any support as he looked up, so he was either going to strike from a difficult angle with his left foot, or he was going to try and cut back. And as he did try to cut back, Coyote read it brilliantly and just stepped across, defended it really well.
He's been another smart acquisition by Brentford, hasn't he, since he coming in from Fiorentina on loan last year and then permanently. Brilliant fullback on that right-hand side. They've had to do a bit of sort of sticking plaster job on the left-hand side with Rico Henry only just coming back from a long-term injury and taking time just to get back up to full speed. Here is right again. This is Dongo Watara trying to get beyond Ollie Scarles. He's been in good form as well. He's flying, nominated for Premier League Player of the Month after 2 goals and 2 assists in February. He's one of the in-form wingers in the division. He's won a throw-in over on the far side, which they've taken short. Watara's got it back. He's beaten Ollie Scarles, sent it into the middle, and it's headed home by Nathan Collins off the goalkeeper and in. And they're complaining, West Ham, that the goal shouldn't stand, but the referee has given it, and Nathan Collins thinks he's got his 3rd goal of the season. The cross from the right-hand side from Watara. Now the referee, Andy Madley, is just speaking to his VAR tonight, Konstantinos Hatzidakis, and he may well be disallowing this goal.
Well, I think it hits Thiago, who's right in front of Areola. Whether he's offside, I'm not too sure. We'll wait and see. But I think he's directly in front of the goalkeeper as Collins heads this in. He's just stood there, Thiago. It hits him on the chest. But he's right. I mean,
he's not offside, so he can stand in front of the goalkeeper.
Well, yes, has Disasi. Kante.
It's Kante.
Kante is who went out towards the initial corner.
Oh, they're now checking it for possible handball. No, it didn't hit his hand. It hit Thiago actually on the belly. I think it hits him on the belly or the chest and goes in.
Well, it's just then, does it graze the arm?
Well, you can't see that. I'm not going to spend 4 minutes 38 seconds like we did up at Burnley the other night, by the way. You know, there's no clear evidence to overturn that goal. He is onside because Conte had stayed in and played him onside. You could see that from the first replay. Crack on, fellas, it's a goal.
But if it hits his hand...
Well, it doesn't.
But that's what they're checking. Does it hit the hand that's behind? That it looks like it hits his stomach, but does it hit his arm?
Can you see that from there? You've seen 7 angles. Can you see it?
Well, no, but I don't think they've got a good enough angle so far.
It's a goal. And there's the celebration from Igor Thiago. He's claiming it. Nathan Collins wants it, but Collins won't get it, I don't think, because the final touch did come off Thiago, and I think that will go down as his 20th goal of the season. And if you were a striker in his position, you'd certainly be saying so.
And I'd be celebrating like him as well, because it did come off his stomach. He just doesn't know a lot about it. It's just headed powerfully at him. He's actually... I tell you what, he's actually a little bit lazy to not get back onside. He doesn't know he's onside because he's behind the defence in the penalty area.
It's a major mistake from Conte, isn't it?
It is, that he is way behind the rest of his defence.
And now West Ham coming forward looking for a response, and then Traore goes down under a challenge from Coyote, and the crowd go wild and they want a penalty kick. So does Traore. The referee says play on, but the VAR will look at that as well, and it may well be that West Ham find themselves in need of a spot kick here. The referee still talking to his VAR, boos around the London Stadium, and it's 1-1 on TalkSport with half an hour played. Brentford back in the game, picked up by Sharda into Yarmouk, who's winding up to get a shot away here. He plays it on towards Damsgaard. Into the area it goes, away by Souček with a flying header just by the penalty spot. And it's collected over on the right-hand side by Dongo Watara. Left-footed, he sends the ball high into the box, but it's overhit and it goes out of play and away for a goal kick away to our left. And now they ask the question. VAR is checking a possible penalty.
Well, I did think, why else would he go down? It wasn't as if, you know, he was getting control of it.
Well, he has to go to the monitor, doesn't he? Because he challenges him through his legs from behind.
Well, it just seems so ridiculous. Why would Adama Traore go down in that position? It wasn't even a natural position to just try and deceive the referee. He was just trying to control it away from Coyote. Coyote tried to just step in.
Well, he's put his leg, Coyote, between the legs of Traore, connected with him, and he's gone down. Is it enough for a penalty? Well, the referee's over looking at the monitor to check now. I think the fact that he has been asked to go to the monitor, it looks on our replays that it's a trip. It's a penalty.
Oh, it's a definite penalty. No idea why Coyote would even try to put his foot anywhere near Adama Traore's legs at that point. He's going away from goal. He's no genuine threat, and he just tries to win the ball and doesn't.
Well, the referee's going to tell everybody inside the stadium, because we've had VAR in the 5th round for the first time. Well, I think you get the sense of what he's suggesting there. You might not be able to hear everything, but he's saying it's a penalty for a foul by Brentford number 33, Coyote. And it's going to be a West Ham United penalty away to our right-hand side. And it was a foul on Traore by Coyote. And how frustrating must that be for Brentford, Keith Andrews and their supporters?
Oh, very, very frustrating to get yourself back in the game the way they did. Look, I think the issue is he is so quick, Traore, that Coyote thinks, oh, there's the ball, I'll just go and win it. And then Traore just, that extra 2 steps of acceleration, and he's cut across him and gives away the penalty.
Well, in the absence of Lucas Paquetá, Jared Bowen takes the responsibility from the spot again. He's been pretty reliable whenever he's been called upon from 12 yards, and he stands in front of the king of saving penalties, Caoimhin Kelleher, who saved from Mbappe last season and saved 3 penalties for club and country throughout the course of the last campaign. Can he prevent Jared Bowen from restoring West Ham United's lead? He steps up, left-footed, he slides it into the corner, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, and West Ham United are back in front. They lead by 2-1. Jared Bowen hadn't scored in the FA Cup for 2 years before tonight. He's got 2 before half-time. It's West Ham 2, Brentford 1.
Well, he's got the armband on, and he will take responsibility, especially when it comes to taking penalties. Why wouldn't you? As a forward, you back yourself for it to be a certain goal. And he just stepped up. Kelleher went the wrong way. He didn't try and fool the goalkeeper. He just firmly side-footed it the opposite way, Jared Bowen.
Well, that was a goal of Brentford's own making. The foul by Coyote, completely unnecessary. And the penalty beautifully dispatched by the West Ham United captain. And it's 2-1. And it's a good old cup tie. Henderson gets the ball back from his goalkeeper and then shovels it back into the path of Ayer, and immediately the hunt is on, and Conte has got it back and he sends it centrally after winning it high up. It bounces off Ayer, goes behind. It's away for another corner. It does feel different, doesn't it, inside this stadium now? West Ham have started to play a bit and put pressure on the Brentford goal.
Yeah, certainly. Like I said before, the first goal, these supporters need a little something, and then they'll be behind the team. And they've got that. I tell you what, they'll love him as well. Conte, if he continues to do that sort of work, chasing down and winning it high up.
He's terrific, isn't he? Tonight he's really put himself about. Here's the corner, it's a poor delivery in towards the near post, shoveled away by Ouattara. Walker-Peters then makes a terrible mistake and sends the ball backwards rather than forwards. Thiago is going to close down the goalkeeper here and try and cut off the route back to Areola. They found him anyway, and he does manage to clear upfield towards Bowen. Well intercepted in midfield by Yarmouk, who turns and runs away from Pablo, then runs straight into Bowen and gives it back to West Ham, who come down the right now. Adama Traore bursts into life. He grabs hold of the ball. He faces up the defender. He's looking for someone to pass it to inside the box. He's still waiting. He's now got 2 for company. And then he eventually just tucks it back to Carl Walker-Peters. He kept hold of it for a little while there, though, Adama Traore. And there's 10 minutes to go before half-time. We've already had 3 goals. Here is Souček just slipping at the vital moment, but Conte has picked it up. He travels forward. He's got space outside on the left for Scarles. Scarles cuts in, plays it down the left towards Pablo, just again overhit slightly, and it goes through into the arms of Kelleher. But it's still 2-1 to West Ham United, who are playing with a little bit of confidence.
Yeah, nice movement from Scarles there to receive and just take it inside in one move. Just overhits it towards Pablo. It's given them a real lift. To tell you another player that's just been terrific in this run is Fernandes in midfield.
Yeah.
Starting to demand the ball, and teammates recognising what an influence he's having, popping it into him at every opportunity for him to start an attack.
Well, he's starting to show why they spent so much money on him when they bought him from Southampton in the summer. And they needed to revamp that midfield, and they're slowly but surely getting the fruits of that. And here is Keane Lewis-Potter getting the wrong side of Bowen and into the box now, dancing his way through, and he goes past the defender. A little leg came out there, and he did go over, but he never even asked for a penalty. But Conte's challenge, certainly, I'm not sure how much contact he got on the ball there, but certainly there was a leg that came swiping across. Just enough is the answer.
Oh, just enough. Real risky challenge, Conte, but I guess those long legs of his were just able to stretch and get a touch, a vital touch.
I'd have missed that by about 3 yards with my legs. Here is Henderson. You would have got there. Big strapping tall lad like yourself. Now here is the corner from Henderson. Deep ball towards the far post. Ariola's going to claim that rather easily.
It's now a few disappointing set plays, corners from both sides. He worked so hard on it, so important, and then the delivery's poor.
Do you know what though? With the ease with which Brentford scored their goal, I mean, you can imagine Keith Andrews having a little bit of a rollicking at half-time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they will anyway, just because they're so important and they work so hard on them, and it's down to you as the taker to make sure your delivery's right. That's why Arsenal, I think, have been so good. I think Rice and Saka in particular, so consistent.
2-1 to West Ham United, live on TalkSport tonight. You're listening to the FA Cup, live on TalkSport with McDonald's. Order delivery on the McDonald's app from 11 a.m, 18 plus. Fees apply to delivery orders, subject to availability. Prices may vary. This is Jordan Henderson in possession deep inside his own half. And remember, we've got lots more football to come for you over the next couple of days. Leverkusen against Arsenal is one of our big games this week. That's Wednesday night, 5:45. Here is Ouattara getting into the penalty area. Schade is tackled from behind, and the referee once again is asked the question as to whether or not he should have given a penalty. Schade has stayed down. Play continues. The ball is on the left as Brentford come forward with Keane Lewis-Potter. Gets to the byline, produces the cross. Walker-Peters puts it behind, and Andy Madley will speak to Con Hatzidakis again.
He certainly will. I mean, he's being pulled as well by the shirt, Ollie Scarles, Ouattara, and then as Schade then comes onto it, he's just so quick, and Fernandes just treads right on his foot. He knows the reaction. Fernandez's face says it all.
Yeah, I think that's a penalty, because he's given the corner kick. He said no penalty. I thought that impeded his movement towards the ball, and there was sufficient contact there to knock him down.
Well, I mean, the only thing I can think is there a tiniest touch by Fernandes on the ball, but you only have to look at Fernandez's reaction.
He knows Fernandez's face. He grimaces straight away as if to go, oh my word, what have I done there?
Kevin Schade saying, how can you not see that all 5 of my toes have been crushed in the challenge?
Well, I'm surprised by that. Are you?
Oh, very, very. Like I said, the only thing I can think is they've just quickly slowed it down and seen that there was a touch by Fernandes.
Well, there's lots of pushing and shoving now going on inside the penalty area. And Andy Madley has gone across to try and deal with what is a congregation which is amassed under the crossbar. Almost everybody is in there. All the West Ham players are in the 6-yard box, by the way. as the ball is played to the edge of the area. Comes back to Henderson, lovely cross towards the far post, floated beautifully, headed away superbly by Mavropanos, kept alive by Collins, and then picked up by Traore. Good tackle by Collins to keep Brentford on the front foot. Traore wrestling over on the far side with Ouattara. Ouattara tries to go round him, and then the ball is played off Ouattara beautifully by Traore, and it's a goal kick away to our left-hand side 4 minutes before half-time.
Well, it was begging to be headed in, wasn't it? Jordan Henderson's delivery, outstanding into a great area. The type of delivery that a goalkeeper just can't come to get because of the pace that's on it. No one there to head it.
Galatasaray versus Liverpool tomorrow, 5:45 TalkSport 2. Atletico Madrid against Tottenham, 8 o'clock. TalkSport live from Madrid. Leverkusen against Arsenal Wednesday, 5:45 TalkSport 2. TalkSport live in Madrid, Real Madrid against Manchester City, whilst PSG against Chelsea is on TalkSport 2. Thursday night, Lille versus Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest versus Midtjylland. Crystal Palace against Larnaca as well. It's all going off in Europe, and it's all going off on TalkSport. 3 minutes to go before half-time. 2-1 the score in favour of the home team West Ham United, who made significant changes to their lineup tonight. Brentford went with arguably their strongest team, but it's West Ham that are in front, but maybe they're in front only because the VAR declined them a penalty which maybe he should have given. Here is Aya, away from Pablo. He charges into midfield. It's collected by Henderson, and maybe the reason that he didn't give the penalty kick was because there was contact and Andy Madley saw it, and therefore there was nothing new for the referee to be told by the VAR, so it wasn't a clear and obvious error. He did see contact, maybe, I don't know. Might be an explanation.
Possibly.
Coyote out towards the right. Ouattara in a bit of space, tries to take on Scarles, who does well, flicks the ball up, heads it down, keeps it under control, then loses control of it and puts it out for a corner over on the far side with 3 minutes before the end of the first 45. And Brentford will try and make the most of these set pieces because they haven't as of yet.
Yeah, he's frustrated there, Scarles. He knows he didn't need to give that corner away, just miscontrolled right at the last moment. And again, Collins and Aya will come up and flood that 6-yard area.
2 on the score. West Ham United in front, and the West Ham players all inside the 6-yard box again as Collins gets up furthest and heads the ball down towards the far post. It's cleared away. Comes back to Yarmouk, who gets it back to Collins, who into the danger zone, heads the ball down. Cleared away by West Ham. And Collins is such a threat from set pieces, isn't he? If he gets one on target, it's going to be very difficult to stop. It was good defending on the goal line, I think, by Ollie Scarles, who was back there. Here is King Lewis Potter into Damsgaard as Brentford come on the front foot again. They're a good 15 yards inside opposition territory. Down the left-hand side, a yard in from the touchline is Damsgaard. Travelling further down that left-hand side was Yarmouk. He's now come infield. Henderson back to the left and Damsgaard. Damsgaard looking for an opening. Yarmouk. Then back to Damsgaard again. And then Yarmouk has gone into the area whilst he waits for a cross to come in. King Lewis Potter plays it back to the playmaker Damsgaard, and then between him and Yarmouk, they keep playing it around on the edge of the area. Yarmouk trying to get down the side of the box. He runs out of room really and then forces it off Carl Walker-Peters and out for a throw-in down by the corner flag. And across comes the big Coyote.
Yeah, they did really well there, Brentford, just to use the three players. Yarmouk, Lewis Potter and Damsgaard just kept rotating and playing it towards each other, just trying to get the opening.
This is right by the corner flag, by the way, this throw-in. And I think goalkeepers think these are worse than corners. Here is Coyote's throw in towards the near post. Flicked on by Aya, I think it was, at the near post this time. And then helped away. Aya has kept it alive. The ball's bounced out to the left and Coyote. He's trying to keep it moving. It's gone out for a goal kick, I think, off of Coyote last. And it is going to be back with West Ham away to our left-hand side. But we are going to have 6 minutes of added time at the end of the first 45.
I guess just there are incidents, but again, I think it's because of the trajectory of the throw-in. You know, it's so difficult to spot as a goalkeeper or a defender because of just how flat it comes in. It's a great little flick from Aya. Brilliant defending from Souček at the back to get the header away.
2-1. And we're into stoppage time at the end of the first half. Flicked away by Collins. It goes straight out of play and away for a throw into West Ham United. Good 15 yards down the right touchline. Nuno Espirito Santo scratches at his greying beard. Wearing a big stadium jacket tonight, unzipped. Walks back towards the edge of his technical area. And waits for Carl Walker-Peters to get things restarted once again. The signing of 5 players in January certainly have pepped up West Ham United. No doubt. Here is Sharda down the left-hand side. Fernandez comes across. Ball collected by Souček, fouled by Damsgaard. I think everyone knows the priority here. It has to be staying in the Premier League, but I think Nuno Espirito Santo also knows that the FA Cup can bring you a bit of momentum. Success obviously would lift this crowd. They've had such a torrid time. The relationship between board, crowd, supporters and players has not been great. He did lead Wolves to the quarterfinals of the Europa League in 20. Ball behind and it's away for a corner on the near side.
Yeah, he struggled a little bit, hasn't he? Lewis Potter at left back. It's one thing playing there, it's another thing playing against a player like Jared Bowen, who's maybe not been in amazing goal scoring form, but in terms of his all-round play and threat, he's always there.
Here is the corner then to be taken by Skulls, left-footed. It's a deeper one this time. Souček gets underneath it, hangs it up to the far post, comes down towards Disasi. He tries to get it goalwards, but it came off the outside of his boot and went across goal rather than towards it. But it was a big chance for West Ham United. Still remains 2-1. And we're into the 3rd minute of added time at the end of the first 45. Might have been a foul there by Dongo Watara on Jared Bowen. And that's going to be a free kick now wide on the right.
Oh, it's a massive chance for Disasi. Not quite sure. Souček who heads it back. I'm not quite sure whether it comes off the crossbar or Kelleher just pats it down to Disasi, hits his thigh, has a real big swing with the left foot, and he just skims the ball and it goes nowhere. Big chance just to smash it into the roof of the net. And he just hits Jordan Henderson in the chest.
He's not scored since his loan from Chelsea. Well, not in the right net anyway. He did score an own goal against Liverpool a couple of weeks ago. 2-1 the score. That's a great free kick in towards Souček. Brilliant save by Kelleher down low to his left to keep the score at 2-1. Brilliant. Lovely delivery from Fernandez again, and Souček at the far post with a bullet header down towards the goalkeeper's left. Oh, it's a big save.
Oh, it's fantastic. Because it's a magnificent ball from Fernandez. He just cuts across it, fades it in towards the goal. Souček flying, diving header from him. Kelleher gets down brilliantly to his left-hand side. A big firm left hand. It's a big chance. You expect Souček to score then, but Kelleher got down really well.
He's a top goalkeeper, and he watched it all the way, didn't he? And it was a brilliant leap from Souček. He just sort of leant into Ajer and got over the top of him, headed the ball down, but there was that big left hand of the Irishman. And he keeps it out, and he keeps the scoreline. Only 2-1. Here is Coyote down the outside right. Ball into the box, headed away by Mavropanos. Sharda trying to get some joy now over on that right-hand side. And Watara has come out to the left for the last few minutes just to mix things up for Brentford. And now the ball is with Ajer on the halfway line. Into Keane Lewis Potter. Infield he goes to Damsgaard. A little run by Watara down that left-hand side. Mavropanos is trying to get there. He does. Puts it out for a throw. That's fine by Brentford because Coyote will come across, and in the last few seconds of the first half, we're into the final 6 of 6 added minutes at the end of the first 45. Coyote will wind up one of his long catapults into the box.
Concentration needed always at the end of a half. Just got to get in at half-time if you're West Ham.
Thrown by Coyote in towards the near post. It travels a very long way and no one dealt with it. Comes back out to Damsgaard, whose shot is blocked by the muscular Traore. The ball ricochets into the sky and West Ham still haven't got it clear. Conte's chucked it out towards this near side, which means Coyote will have another go just before the end.
Yeah, it was really strong defending from West Ham as it skipped through everybody. Just made sure that it was headed away. There was an awkward fall in midfield as Conte went to head. I think it's Jordan Henderson that took a bit of a ride on Conte and then really landed on his elbow, shoulder.
It's one of those, isn't it, where you can do yourself some serious damage, maybe dislocate it because of the way that he landed on his elbow. And that is going to be very, very sore, and it's going to mean that we're going to have some extra moments here at the end of the first half so that he can get some treatment. And he should already be in now, really, for the half-time break, but the referee just allowing the treatment for Henderson, because it does look like a bit of a serious injury, this, for the man who's been very impressive in the heart of the midfield for Brentford all season. It's West Ham who lead, though. The 2 goals coming from Jared Bowen. First after 20 minutes. Header after the ball flicked off Soucek and down from Ayer. That was from a free kick. The penalty converted after Coyote made a mistake after 34 minutes. In between that, Igor Thiago was credited with a goal after it came off his belly on the way to goal from Nathan Collins. And then there was a shout for a penalty which VAR glanced at but didn't give, after Brentford felt that they had a foul inside the box. Matías Fernandes looked very guilty. It looks as if he'd stepped on the feet of Kevin Schade, but Konstantin Hatzidakis did not recommend a review. Well, Henderson is back on his feet now. He's going to have to come off to wait for 30 seconds because he's received treatment on the pitch. By the way, they tell me that that's going to be elongated from the summer. I think it's going to be a minute.
I think I can agree with that.
Oh, just checking. He's coming off, and Coyote is about to throw the ball on.
Well, obviously you want it as a deterrent, just to go down and waste time. Jordan Henderson isn't, because he landed like he was doing the side plank, but luckily he's up and looks to be okay.
Oh, that's a Jim Buddy reference, that, isn't it? Here's the throw-in by Coyote in towards the near post. Flicked into the air by Ayer, but not to a blue shirt. But he's got it back again, edge of the area, then loses it immediately to Fernandes. And that's the half-time whistle. And West Ham United are 45 minutes away from their first FA Cup quarter-final in a decade. 2 goals from Jared Bowen, who hadn't scored in this competition for 2 years before tonight, and then he got 2 in the first 45. Thiago also got a goal. There was VAR controversy as well, and there's lots to pour over at half-time, where it's West Ham 2, Brentford 1.
Sam, thank you very much. It's been a good cup tie, certainly here at the London Stadium. But it is West Ham then, who, as Sam says, are just 45 minutes away from booking their place in the quarter-finals. Let's look over that first half then. And as I say, it's been a really interesting, exciting first half. West Ham obviously scoring those 2 goals to give them the lead, but a lot of the focus will be on that penalty that Brentford weren't awarded, with VAR very quickly surmising that there was no penalty.
I'm very surprised. Even when I looked at the replay, it looked like a penalty. Fernandes' face said it all. I think he knew he'd given away a penalty as well. And it feels very fortunate that West Ham have got away with that. Whether there was the tiniest touch from Fernandes can be the only thing I can think of, but it still didn't divert where the ball was going for Kevin Schade. So for me, that's why it should have been a penalty.
But when you consider the VAR review, for example, on the Brentford's goal, which took an age, similar for the penalty that West Ham were awarded, we didn't see anything. For there to be the smallest potential touches by Fernandes, we barely saw that in a review.
And that's, I think, what's hard to understand with these sort of decisions. And I'm sure Brentford supporters will feel that, because he's gone over and checked Traore's penalty shout. You'd expect him to go and have a look at that. But I can only think that they think Fernandes has got a tiny touch. But for me, it didn't. But I think didn't take the ball away from Schade.
But that's the issue, isn't it? When you're saying a tiny touch, and it may well be that he did get a touch, and maybe there was one bit of conclusive footage that they have seen that very quickly they have seen.
Yeah.
But none of us have seen that footage, so that's why we're all in this bemused situation of, it looked like a clear team. And bear in mind, this is not the first 11 that we're seeing, although there are obviously players that you would recognise in the normal Premier League West Ham team. But they're playing pretty well, confident. You can see that.
Yeah, you can see that they've been on a good run as a team, as a squad, and the confidence is high. I still think Brentford have been the better team, just in terms of a little bit more control, for larger parts of that first half, and some big chances as well that they missed, especially before the opening goal for West Ham. Brentford really should have been ahead with the couple of opportunities that they had, but it's very even. If you look at the stats, it's very, very even between the two. Both sides, again.
COYI had brought down Adama Traore. Now, COYI is one of these players who obviously I see quite a lot of, being a Brentford fan, who is brilliant and an exciting fullback, but he does have those moments in games where he's a little reckless. And it's those kind of gangly legs of him that causes a few issues, and that's what we saw this evening.
Yeah, I think that's something he needs to work on, is that footwork.
And that is something you can work on quite easily.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Look, he's still a very young player. He's only 21. He's not massively experienced, and those are the type of things as a defender you do work on. His footwork. You know, it was a poor own goal that he gave away earlier in the season. Whether I think it might have been Burnley, possibly, that he put into his own net. Again, maybe footwork wasn't what it needed to be, and I think he's got a great attitude. But that was naive. He just thought, I can win that. It's there, I can win it. And Adama Traore is too quick and gets in front of him, and he gives away a really needless penalty. Again, because he's young, that is something that he will learn from, I'm sure. But really disappointing to have got yourselves level, and then, of course, to give away the penalty so cheaply.
So in terms of Nuno Espirito Santo, obviously be really happy that his team are leading, and he might feel vindicated with the changes that he's made because they have had the impact that he wanted. But he's not going to be saying to his team, sit back now. You can't afford to sit back, because we have seen Brentford have chances. They've just not been able to put them away.
No, and from those set plays and long throws, they've looked really dangerous from most of them. So you can't just rest. I think they need a third goal, West Ham. But that's the benefit of starting with this team and being 2-1 ahead. If you need to in the second half very early on, Nuno can bring on, the likes of Castellanos, Somerville, Wilson to try and get that third goal if Brentford do start the second half well.
OK, it's West Ham then who leads at the break here at the London Stadium. You're tuning in to Kickoff on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. It's 18 and over, gambleaware.org.
Kickoff on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
When life gives you that Friday feeling, get your restaurant faves in as little as 25 minutes on Deliveroo. Whether it's zesty lemon pepper wings from Wingstop, tasty noodle soup from Pho, or peri salted chips from Nando's. So when you've got that last email sent, the to-do list ticked, we've got dinner sorted. Deliveroo, now just got even better. Geographical restrictions, T's and C's and fees apply. Delivery times vary. See app or web for info.
Nobody knows Vegas like BetMGM, and we know just how loud it can get. So sometimes it's important to turn it down or take a break. Because a little pause keeps the fun in play. To find out more about BetMGM's safer gambling tools and how we can support you to keep your play safe, visit the safer gambling area of our app or website. BetMGM. 18 plus, please gamble responsibly.
In a world of noise and uncertainty, IG is the investment platform that backs you. Take our flexible stocks ISA, which gives you the freedom to withdraw funds anytime and replace them in the same tax year, all without losing your £20,000 tax-free allowance. And if that's not enough, pay no commission on your stocks, shares and ETFs when you invest with IG. IG. Trade, invest, progress. Your capital's at risk. Other fees may apply. Tax treatment depends on individual circumstances and is subject to change.
Cheltenham's here with our new racing bet builder, so you can build your perfect bet from winners to distances. You build it and we'll bring you a free opening day bet. Sorry. Whew. As I was saying, you build it, we'll bring you a free opening day bet for Cheltenham. That's Ladisfaction from Ladbrokes. 18 plus online. Opt in 9 a.m. 9th of March 26 to 6:20 p.m. 10th of March 26. Free bet on any horse racing. Values vary. Valid until 11:59 p.m. on the 10th of March 26. Max 1 free bet per player. T's and C's apply. Gambleaware.org.
Evening. How's your night shift going? Just a quick check-in from Acorn Insurance, the taxi specialists. We've been by your side for over 40 years, helping new drivers earn a no-claims bonus from day one and accepting up to 9 years no claims from veteran cabbies. That's why we're the largest taxi insurance specialist in the UK. Find out more at acorninsure.co.uk/taxi. Bye for now. Acorn Insurance and Financial Services Limited is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority.
The Cheltenham Festival. 4 magnificent days, 28 exhilarating races, and hundreds of variables we try to predict. With Betfair, you can get a £10 free bet when you bet £10 on racing multis. Available every day at Cheltenham. Will you rely on form and familiarity, or find a different way to play? Betfair. Play different.
Opt in and place a £10 multi-bet. Minimum odds of 2.0 or higher. Placed after 5 p.m. on the day before, starting Sunday the 8th of March. T's and C's apply. 18 plus gambleware.org.
Who are you going for at the Cheltenham Festival?
The favourite.
The favourite.
The favourite, without a doubt. This Cheltenham Festival, everyone's going for the free favourite pull-out in the sun. It's jam-packed with top tips and form guides for all the runners and riders. And a free £5 in-shop bet with Coral each day of the festival. Get your copy of the favourite every day only in the sun. T's and C's apply. 18 plus only. Gambleware.org.
FA Cup Live on TalkSport with McDonald's. The Big Arch is here to stay at McDonald's with its very own delicious sauce. Available from 11 a.m. subject to availability, price and participation may vary.
How we man, it's TalkSport, Pep. It's the station on the dial that's been here for a while. That's TalkSport, alright. That's TalkSport, alright. Our live Premier League is more fun than a beep. That's TalkSport, alright. That's TalkSport, alright. It's the easiest way to have your own say, from Champions League to world title fights. Then the other team calls and they're all talking balls. That's TalkSport, alright.
Anyway, man, it's a bed of a radio station for canny sport and lads and lasses. TalkSport, it's a reek Bobby Dazzler.
Stamina, celebrity,
Lightspeed weeknight football. Kickoff live on TalkSport.
You're listening to FA Cup Live on TalkSport with McDonald's. Order delivery even on the McDonald's app from 11 a.m. It's 18 and over. Fees apply to delivery orders, subject to availability, and price may vary. Here at the London Stadium then, in this FA Cup 5th round tie, it is West Ham who lead Brentford by 2-1 as the second half fast approaches. So let's bring you the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. Get a free bet every week of the season and a big boost every day. That's Ladisfaction. Minimum £5 bet. Conditions apply. 18 plus gambleware.org.
Right, now to win in 90 minutes, you can get West Ham at odds-on favourites, 6-5 on. The draw is 21-10, and Brentford now at best price 7-2. If you think Kevin Schade to score any time, well, he was at one stage 3-1. That's now been boosted to 7-2. That was the latest odds with Ladbrokes. It's 18 and over. Gambleware.org.
Odds update on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. Get a free bet every week of the season and a big boost every day. That's Ladisfaction. Minimum £5 bet. Conditions apply. 18 plus gambleware.org.
Now, before we look ahead to the second half here at the London Stadium, tomorrow night live on TalkSport, Spurs look to put their league woes behind them as they travel to Atletico Madrid in the first leg of their last 16 tie in the Champions League. The interim boss Igor Tudor has been speaking to the media, and he was asked if he can use these two games to experiment with his team.
I agree. Both things, as I said, focus on us. They're playing against a team who has a story in this Champions League, so they have experience, they have quality. We need to do our best in terms that we need to grow. You know, as you said, also because our first aim is Premier League. And this need to be said also publicly. It's a normal thing. This is something extra, but that don't mean that we don't want to pass. We don't want to go in next round.
It's an 8 o'clock kickoff live then on TalkSport tomorrow night, and Igor Tudor yet to win since taking over as interim manager. 3 games played, 3 defeats. I suppose likewise you could sort of make a similar case for this game for West Ham. Is the Champions League a distraction for Tottenham, Dean Ashton, or actually is it a chance for Igor Tudor to maybe fine-tune something in his Spurs team to get them going in the league?
I think right now every game should be an opportunity to turn things around, to get something positive back within the group. Now, I think I've heard that Romero and Jed Spence might be back as well, and they're going to need those top players because, yes, they haven't been up to standard, but if you can get more confidence within the team. They are the better players that will make the difference in certain games. So I think every game is an opportunity right now to get something positive and not worry too much about the negatives. It can't get much worse. It really can't. So you've just got to strive for the positives for Igor Tudor.
Well, certainly in Europe, it's been, well, pretty rosy for Tottenham this season, having finished 4th in the Champions League phase, and they finished above PSG, Barcelona, Manchester City, Chelsea, for example. Some might debate the opposition that they played in that run. I can see you laughing there, Sam. Go on, say what you want to say.
I was just going back to this morning's Premier League All Access podcast, which is available now on the TalkSport app or wherever you get your podcast
get your plug
from.
in, eh?
But just hearing Alex Crook describe some of the opponents that that Tottenham had during that league phase, they did get a very light run, and that has to be put in context. This is a major step up. I mean, it's an absolutely huge step up for them. And do you know what? A bit like tonight, will it help them build momentum? You never know. They're very good at home, Atletico Madrid, though. And although they've had a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde season, sometimes they can look like the best Simeone side that has ever been created at Atletico Madrid, and sometimes they can look like the worst one.
And the interesting thing about Atletico Madrid is that, renowned for their defensive prowess, they conceded the most goals of any team in the top 16 of the league phase. But look, the teams have made their way out here for the second half then of this FA Cup tie, with West Ham leading by 2-1 against Brentford, with a home tie against Leeds awaiting the winners in the quarter-finals. Doesn't look like there are any changes that have been made to these teams then. Or maybe there have. I don't know, have you got your eagle eye out there, Sam?
Yeah, I think there might be one.
Yes.
Ezra Myers is about to come on, I think, for West Ham United, which would be interesting because it would mean maybe a slight change. Is he going to play at left back instead of Ollie Scholes in the second half, Dean Ashton?
I think that's what it feels like, yeah. Ollie Scholes is the one that will be replaced. Whether that was something that was looked at before the game, or whether there's just been a slight injury. Somerville was doing an intense warm-up as well at half-time, so whether he's one that's going to come on also.
Well, I think he is going to come on, but no one's ready. So we're supposed to kick off for the start of the second half. Those two players are standing on the sidelines. They didn't have their tracksuit tops off. Everyone's ready to kick off. The referee and the assistants on the near side and the far side are all ready to go. And the two West Ham players that are going to come on at half-time are not.
It's no surprise these days. The amount of tracksuits they've got to take off, get the shirt on, shin pads in, tie your boots.
Well, Adama Traore and Ollie Scholes are off, and on comes Somerville and Myers. And Myers goes to left back, and Somerville, as you can imagine, goes to left wing. So all change down that side of the field, which is interesting.
Yeah, it didn't feel as if Brentford were getting all the joy down that side, or there was a big issue in that sense. Maybe going forward there wasn't enough from the left-hand side of West Ham's attack.
Well, we'll see what happens after the game when we try and get a word with Nuno Espirito Santo, who is due to talk to us straight after the match. Here's Coyote. No changes for Brentford at half-time. This is how West Ham line up then. They're attacking the goal away to our left. The Bobby Moore stand away to our left-hand side, with Areola in goal, Walker-Peters, Disasi, Mavropanos and Myers the back four. Conte, Souček and Fernandes in midfield. Bowen, Pablo and Somerville now the three-pronged attack. And they're in claret shirts with white shorts and white socks, and all in light blue. Brentford attacking the goal away to our right, the Sir Trevor Brookings stand where their fans are housed, and they brought a decent number with them tonight, by the way, Brentford. Excellent support from them, and they have Kelleher in goal. Here is Bowen looking to test him early on in the second half, going down the right-hand side, tucking it back towards Pablo, where maybe the shot was on. It was blocked by the retreating Aya and cleared away by Brentford, who have Coyote at right back, Aya, Collins and Lewis Potter making up the four at the back, Henderson, Yarmouk and Damsgaard in midfield, Watara on the right-hand side, Thiago and Kevin Sharda. What do you make of that chance for Bowen? Should he have pulled the trigger a little bit earlier?
Well, I thought he should have gone a little bit more direct at Ayer rather than cutting onto his right foot and then cutting it back towards Pablo. I just thought there, go and take him on. That should be where you really thrive, is in that 1v1 situation. Ayer gets himself back, but then Bowen should work a bit harder, I think, to take Ayer on there. Lets him off a bit, I thought.
Coyote is going to take another long throw. This time it's from the midpoint of the West Ham half, and he launches it diagonally towards the penalty spot. It causes chaos. It's flicked on by Collins. It's drifted away. The flag is up down in front of us for an offside decision. And Sharda is complaining, saying, what, me? No. Free kick has been given on the edge of the 6-yard box.
I mean, look, it's difficult to defend those long throws, because the closer he gets to the goal line, the flatter they come in. The further away he is up the pitch, they come looping in, and we've got no pace on them to head them away as a defender, and then that ends up getting looped in the air, and you've got to be really, really switched on to the loose ball, that you've made sure you've got your man as you're defending and you've not switched off.
Ball cleared away by West Ham, but sent forward by Brentford immediately. Ouattara tries to force it against Conte, and it goes out for a throw, which is quickly taken by Thiago. Henderson was harassed and gave the ball away. It was all down to Somerville, who's now released Bowen over on the right-hand side. He scampers into the box in the inside right channel, pulls the trigger this time. It's blocked by Collins, and it bounces out to the far side, where it's collected by Carl Walker-Peters. Bowen back to Somerville, and then back into Fernandes, back to Somerville again. He looks up, tries to chink in field, but he just dawdled on the ball, and Yarmouk took no second invitation to rob that and run towards halfway. And Brentford have possession again. 2-1 the score. This is TalkSport. Keith Andrews standing on the edge of his technical area, getting rather animated down in front of us. He actually just went and sat down, rifled through his pockets to find his sweets that he likes to munch on during the game. You know when it's like when you put them in one pocket and you can't find it, and he kept rifling through all the pockets, eventually got hold of a handful, and he's now back on the edge of the technical area. And here's Keane Lewis-Potter with a cross into the box, which is deep towards the far post. There might have been a little nudge in the back there for Myers on Ouattara, who goes down. The Brentford fans certainly thought that was the case, and Andy Madley is just holding the game here.
Yeah, Lewis-Potter just cutting in onto his right foot. Ouattara's definitely got ahead of Myers, that's for sure. He's got the run on him. It's just whether he's held on too long. I'm not sure there was really enough. Ouattara, I think he's really looking for that.
I don't know what is enough anymore. I don't get it, because I was watching just in front of him Disasi and Thiago, who either were doing the tango or Disasi was grappling with him maybe a little bit too close.
Yeah, I mean, look, physically these players are so athletic, so strong, that usually I think it should take quite a lot for a player to hit the deck. And Ouattara there wasn't enough for him to fall over.
Well, it's TalkSport, and we're live at the London Stadium. We had a really good end to the first half, and the second half has been pretty competitive up until this point. West Ham United fans just trying to raise the temperature away to our left-hand side. Callum Wilson is warming up away to our left. He's just signed a brand new 1-year contract, which I think surprised us all a little bit, bearing in mind that at one stage during the January transfer window he was left out because he was basically leaving the club, and there were rumours that his contract had been cancelled. And now all of a sudden he's back as part of the main group. He scored a crucial goal recently, and now he is signed up until the summer of 2027. Here is Coyote into Henderson as Brentford look to come forward, and then Somerville commits a foul in front of the dugouts, and that's going to be a free kick to Brentford, 8 yards inside the West Ham half of the field. And we welcome listeners from the USA and Canada joining us live tonight on Sirius XM FC. Thank you very much for joining us and lending us your ears wherever you are in the United States and Canada tonight. Here is Sharda travelling down the left-hand side for Brentford, getting to the byline. A low cross in towards the near post, and there was no one to gobble up the chance. Axel Disasi, the big, powerful French central defender, muscled his way into the edge of the 6-yard box and spooned it out for a throw-in.
Oh, you've got to work harder to get in front of your man there. Ouattara just didn't really move. Thiago was standing still. As soon as Schade gets beyond Walker Peters there, you've got to make a dart.
It's a low trajectory throw, which is hoisted on by Keane Lewis Potter. Schade with a looping header towards the far post, which is plucked out of the sky by Alphonse Areola. And it remains 2-1 to West Ham United. Live on Talk Sport tonight at the London Stadium. Somerville trying to turn away from Yarmouk, who got too tight to him and commits a foul, and it's a free kick to West Ham just short of the halfway line.
Well, keep a clean sheet and you are in the FA Cup quarter-final in this second half for West Ham. It's got to be the team's focus, and then hoping that possibly more on the break you can get that third goal.
Sassy clipping it forward down the left-hand side towards Tati to Pablo. It's received by Somerville, then Myers thrusts it forward, it bounces off of Ouattara and goes out of play. West Ham's FA Cup 5th round record is bleak. They've lost each of their last 3 at this stage, in 2021, 22 and 23, all different managers, same result. They last reached the quarterfinals in 2015-16 when they beat Blackburn 5-1 in this round. Here on the left-hand side, the ball is with Somerville, trying to turn it away from Coyote, who's stuck to his task well. Somerville trying to force it through. It's away by Ouattara. Thiago can't hold it up. Disasi does well again and then travels down the left-hand side. Thiago puts it down. It's going to be a throw into West Ham, level with the edge of the penalty area. And the goal there attacking away to our left-hand side. It was good, strong, powerful play from Disasi.
Excellent, wasn't it? So difficult as a centre-forward as you try to back in. If that centre-back, that first centre-back is double aggressive and can try and win the ball there. Disasi did it brilliantly to put the pressure on Thiago.
Here's Pablo down the left-hand side, playing away to with Souček, putting it back in towards the 6-yard box, tucked behind by Ayer, and it's out for a corner. Good move that from West Ham United.
Excellent little ball round the corner for Pablo. Looking for Bowen in the centre of the 6-yard box. Couldn't quite fire it past. But they're pushing, aren't they, for this third goal?
Well, Somerville now to take the corner from this near side, and Conte is at the far post. Disasi has joined the action.